Let's go in 5, 4, 3. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Yeah, I don't know. They're not equally sized in the corners. So I have to, I don't know, change it to maybe instead of having it there, maybe having it like right underneath the clan name. I'm just trying to make it so it doesn't look so tacky. Like if I took this and put it right up here and then brought it down like maybe something like here or so for like what might look a little bit better. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I actually liked it up in the corner.
You actually did, you like it? You preferred it in the corner of the?
I think it looks less cluttered. When you put it down there, it's like makes it look a little clunkier, you know?
Okay, sure. I'll trust you guys' opinion on it. I mean, it's your flag, your screen. So, I'll make it look better. I'll make it like actually equally sized or whatever at each of them in the future. But for now, you know, obviously they look a little off. All right, cool. Let's get back to the actual game. So, Nick, you were amassing a group to go searching for them. We're not going to have this be so that it takes too terribly long, because I already know where they are. They're dead. And Ton Street is dead, and so is his brother, and that sucks. No, why don't you ask somebody inside chat to go ahead and roll you a D100? No reason. I don't know if you recall this last time.
Me or Nick?
Unfortunately, this time it's Nick.
Jesus. Okay. All right, Steve. Don't let me down. Yeah,
I believe
fuck
in
you,
Steve.
Reminder, Steve is chaos.
Is he? Oh, great. That's fantastic.
55, that's above average.
All right, 55 is going down a little. We can have a secondary person roll for me there, Nick. You can choose who the last roll is.
All right, Snaga, go ahead.
There you go. Oh, sorry, Mr. Amden. Well, you chose Joey.
I didn't trust Joey. I knew he'd mess it up.
Joey messes everything up.
Truth.
That's all right. I feel your pain.
All right.
Should have trusted Mr. Ramdon.
Yeah, I know. Roll a 73. That's somebody who consistently rolls the way you want them to.
Even trusted Otto.
Yeah, I don't trust Anno.
I don't trust Otto either.
I think the last time Ono rolled for me, it was vicious.
Last time he rolled it for me, it was a 1 on a D100.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're just out, Ono, forever.
Oh,
Now
Mr.
you're
Amden
dead
rolled
to
a
me.
1 on a D100 as well, but that was when you guys said high was bad, which means that was the best roll. So
Yeah.
But anyways, oh wow, Xylamos. Wow. Anyway, so you guys go grabbing your army and heading into the woods. Nick, I'm gonna need to have you make a check for me. Just gotta check your character sheet to see how it was we had previously discussed it working for you. Clicking.
Yeah, I'm all set. I don't want to.
There you go. All right, cool. Why don't you go ahead and roll me that knowledge nature check?
All right. Okay. Should probably find my sheet.
He says, I don't want to roll.
Can I try to assist, even though I'm unturned?
Mm-mm.
No, okay.
So heading into the woods, one of the things that you notice about the woods is that they seem relatively quiet compared to how they are. Heading into the forest, they seem relatively quiet compared to how they are. This usually means one of a few things. It tends to be quiet like this, either before or after something has just transpired, because they're either gathering elsewhere and they're about to surge outwards, or something else has already happened and it's dispersed them. You're not sure which one it may be. It's going to have to lead to you needing to track and find out what you can possibly find out for them around here. Unfortunately, the person that's in your clan that's the best tracker was Tonscreet. So trying to find where Tonscreet is going to be a little bit more difficult. I think they themselves have passed without trace or something of the likes. So you're going to have to try to track them down. For you, this is a survival check. And for that, Shado is welcome to assist if you're capable.
I am not.
Okay. So then, and you brought no other advisors with you, right, Nick?
No, I did not. Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and...
I could speak to the trees.
1 hour in a normal forest makes tracks a little bit harder to follow. Can be very difficult, depending on the scenario, but just a little bit harder to follow. A day gets exceedingly difficult. But I don't know why camera always focuses on this damn thing. But 1 hour in Eldamar is drastic changes to the landscape. The way that the grass grows, the way that it changes its direction, the way the branches almost seem to shift and move. This whole place seeming like it's alive. Trying to find tracks as to where they even might be, it's just not going to work for you. Unfortunately, you're going to have to use non-conventional ways to finding them. You don't have magics or anything like that at your disposal to try to track them that way. Instead, you're going to have to know touch points, locations that you think Tonscreet would fall back to if he was looking for a defensive position or a well-hidden position to hold out until whatever storm might be happen to pass. You can think of 3 such locations. There is an old gnarled tree, massive in size and far enough into the woods that you guys were never able to excavate it or properly check its properties. Multiple times in the past, you've had groups, never really yourself, but groups go into the forest and have come across this tree. Much like other places in the forest, it's hard to retrace your steps to get back to exactly where it was. Tonscreet being one of the ones that are better at finding that kind of thing. Anyways, this large gnarled tree seems to, for one reason or another, the other creatures that happen to exist here, they don't tend to go near it. They tend to avoid it. When I say that, I mean the shambling mounds. I mean the will-o'-the-wisps. I mean all the other creatures, the sturges. All of them tend to avoid this tree. The only ones that dare to go near it, if you're being kind of like chased, would be the Hafue that exist here. They seem to have no fear of it. But once you get there and all the other dangers of the forest are kind of like held back by whatever this tree's emanation is, you can kind of hold them back enough that they eventually give up the pursuit. Hafue by themselves aren't that powerful. You also know of another location. It's sacred to your clan, and you hope one day to be able to excavate or clear the way to a safe path to and from it. But it's the cave where you originally found the eggs to the breed of what are they called?
Axby.
Axbeak, thank you. Oh, we never came up with a specific name for the Axbeak, did we? We have to come up with a name for that species of animal. Like that'd be kind of, because Axbeak is kind of boring, right? Like, what is the correct name for it? I have to come up with something. I don't know if you want to ask chat or if you want to come up with it yourself, Nick. Even though it's important to everybody in Kajinxi, it might be more fun for you because your clan is focused on it. But anyways, skipping it for now. So that's the second of the 3 locations. You know it very well. And then the third and final location, it's actually a lake. A small lake that you've come across there. The lake here is unique because at night the lake has a bit of a glow to it, where it almost seems like it sheds a little, almost like light particles of dust seems to come off the lake as the lake itself glows at nighttime. The reason why beyond that this lake seems to be unique and stands out and it's a safe place for you to fall back to is there are many will-o'-the-wisps around this lake, but they are non-violent. They do not attack anybody that happens to come here. And it seems like any Hafue you come across here, sure, teeth may be gritted, arms may be drawn, but they don't attack for whatever reason it might be. No. Snaga, I don't mean something as lame as that. I mean a correct sounding name, right? Like we have Kushibashi, we have Ensho and Shado, like their word for Axbeak, as opposed to Terror Claw. Continue, sorry.
Yeah, we'll first we'll go to the cave.
That's one that you think would be the best location? Finding your way to the cave is going to be rather difficult for you to do. This is a separate survival check for you to do. You have a plus 2 to this. Is anybody else as equally amused by this as I am? Could you ask Nick somebody else to roll a D100 for you? No reason.
So not only does Naito
Oh
and
boy.
his
All right.
friends get lost, we all get
Ano,
lost,
go ahead.
and Varix absorbs all of our clans because we're all dead. You know, and then he becomes.
That's why you don't go into Eldamar. I think it's been apparent, in this campaign already. Don't go in there.
Okay. You find your way back to that the cave that's there. Now, this cave isn't something that you guys actively patrol or guard or whatever it is. It's just too much for you to be able to do so. But you do leave bits of supplies here and there, things that you don't think the animals and whatnot of the forest would find to be of value. Going into the cave, unfortunately, it has become the home of yet another creature since the first time you came here. It seems as though owl bears have made their way into eagle bears, right, Jake? Eagle bears. Eagle bears have made their way into this cave. The two of you, I'm not going to actively have to fight these things because your army will be able to take care of it for you. The question is, how well does your army perform? Why don't you go ahead and roll me your warlord's profession check? I don't want to do a combat so early on without Jake.
Nice.
So while it might be fun to bring it down to combat,
I know I'm excited that I didn't fail a warlord check.
yeah, I know, right? So you, I think you did once in your session 0, but otherwise have been all successes. So, anyways, you're able to draw the owl bears out, get the tactics set up the correct way, utilizing spears and ranged weapons to kind of like pelt them as they make their way out of the cave, and then you just have to go in there and clear out the cave best as it is, because honestly, it's better to clear out the cave than it is to not. Usually, it's a waste. Actually, I take this back. Going in there and poking about lures out one of them, and you have your characters able to hit defensive positions and attack them and harm the owlbears enough that they fall back and actually fall into the cave to their own defensive, kind of like an animalistic defensive position in their home, in their den. And from there, you leave them alone. If there's owlbears there, Tonscreet is not, right? Owlbears are both a valuable asset in this situation, I should say, because they will defend the cave from other potentially worse things being there. And in the future, if you ever did need to come in and fight them again, well, you can eat owlbear and their pelt has value. So you leave them here. I think Green would prefer that option too. Why slaughter them and walk away? That's horrible. So you would do that. What's the next location your characters would do? Mind you, days are rolling on.
We'll probably we'll head for the lake.
Yeah, Tessa would probably see the lake. If it glows, that his brother might end up there because it's more distinctive.
Mm-hmm. All right. Why don't you go ahead and roll me your survival check to find it?
Oof.
That natty 1.
Scott just rolled a natty 1 on a life check. Enjoy that crust.
On a swallow check.
No,
but he's no quitter.
He always nat 20s the swallow check.
Ouch. Sorry. So back to Nick. I don't know if you noticed in chat. Ideas are being posted for the names in case you want to like copy and paste those and keep them as things to look at later on. So back to with your natty 1. It's just going to affect how long you are going to be inside the this whole place, which we'll have you rolling for that afterwards. So Nick, you rolled a 19 for your survival check. It's actually not bad. Why don't we go ahead and have somebody roll a D100 for you? Don't worry about it. Do you want to choose Mr. Amden this time?
Yeah, Mr. Amden was next on my list. So
is that your shit list?
Yes. No. I try to keep an eye on who's asking for rolls.
Okay. So making your way over there, it takes again a considerable amount of time to get there, and your forces have unfortunately been sieged multiple, not sieged, besieged multiple times by the horrors of this forest. One of the big ones that caught you guys off guard was and you're pretty sure you've gone down this trail before, so you're pretty sure these weren't here before. But when all of a sudden the roots and vines started reaching out and grabbing your men and started strangling and trying to literally kill them, at points dragging them, slowly dragging them and choking them over towards these giant flowers that have to exist nearby. You know, of course, these are carnivorous plants. They're not sapient by any stretch. They're just carnivorous plants that happen to exist in the area. And you're trying to hack them down. It looks like this little trap that happens to be here, again, probably natural, maybe not, has a couple of Hafue having to stand around and maybe by enjoyment. They jump into the fight as well and wreak a bit of havoc against your men, causing more problems for you. Go ahead and roll me your warlord check for how it is you resolve this situation.
All right.
You do a decent job of trying to hold them at bay. It's not without casualties, of course, as there will be time and time again with all the again, being besieged by the various animals and creatures and whatnot that are inside this forest. So you eventually find your way, fighting your way through to the lake. The good news is you finally made it here. The bad news is it's daytime. The glow isn't here, so there's a degree of safety, but it's not as safe as it is during the night. So each of you have to kind of like hold your ground and keep at bay. By the blessings of Mr. Emden. Luckily for you, nothing seems to happen. Even though you do see, again, other creatures in the area, the bearing teeth, weapons potentially drawn, you're able to show your force by your own knowledge of the actual landscape itself, finding a good spot to kind of settle down, a defensive spot to kind of settle down, and keep enough distance that nothing seems to attack you. That evening, with the moon, the stars and the moon rising into the sky, you can actually see the lake has a bit of a glow to it. Genuinely magical look to the lake, I imagine, is enamoring for Shadow, having the first time ever seeing this. We're going to pull it down to the two of you potentially talking about this and the forest overall before we actually continue to the next part of this. Before we do that, though, how long you've been here with your inability to track them, your natty one on that, and your survival. That's going to be the survival check right there is going to equal 2d10, and the other two are going to equal the total of 2d6. Why don't you have Jake here roll you 2d10 plus 2d6, please?
That could be really bad.
That's how many days you guys have been gone.
Yeah.
You want him to roll very low. All right, 2d10. Now you gotta get the 2d6.
Oh my god, so low.
Jake.
Thank Christ.
You did them such a favor, because if you have to be in your own nation for at least 1 week a year, a month, sorry, otherwise you get serious penalties. So you did them such a huge favor. You've been in the forest for 8 days. We're gonna pull it to the scene as the stars and moon are rising and the lake starts to glow. I imagine Shadow here will want to comment on that.
Despite the viciousness of this forest, the jungle, this is a spot of respite, of genuine beauty. You know, I'll never come back to this land because it fucking sucks. But I'm glad I got to see at least this site.
You know, given the experience I've had in your land, I'd say the feeling's mutual.
At least the craggy hills don't keep trees that live and eat.
There's majesty to the wild viciousness that is Eldamar.
I feared my border most of all of our three. The Barren Land's dangerous, and Eldamar a forest. But seeing Eldamar up close, I don't envy your position.
No, there is always a new monster.
Who knew
Just one
bears
to
grew
adapt.
feathers?
Bears grow feathers and plants eat men.
I'd rather fight armed force of Perrin any day than spend another week in this forest.
Well, I'm sure you'll get your wish.
So as the time kind of rolls on and you're able to just sit there and just enjoy the majesty of the lake, maybe even from time to time grabbing a stone and skipping it across the water, as people often do when they're musing and trying to allow time to pass, and you feel rather rested here. You genuinely feel just relaxed because of the ambiance, and there's almost a music to it. This place truly feels magical. Can you go ahead and roll me a will save, Sel?
Oh no. So I'm using Charmed Life, so I get to add my charisma to it. Let me double check everything I have. For each time you fail, okay, I have to fail the will save before I get the -2. Good. Yeah, I think I can only add my charisma mod to it. So I'm just gonna auto add it here. So I have a +5 to my will save. Okay.
Sitting there, tossing rocks into the lake, allowing them to skip, and just thinking about, again, the majesty of this place is beautiful. It genuinely is. But at the same time, it is horrible. You wish that you could just find your brother. You wish that he could just come back to you so you could finally leave this place. You're having these thoughts when at some point you're able to look up and you see there's a man moving towards you, or say a cloaked figure moving towards you. Medium-sized, right? Human-sized. That's making their way towards you. Roll me perception check, both Nick and Sel.
Oh, I failed that one, I guess. So that's a -2 to my next perception check. So it's a 1.
You see the figure coming towards you. You think that potentially they are a danger. You know that nobody attacks here. For whatever reason, people don't attack here. But they also don't look to be too kindly. How do the two of you react?
Tessel, a dreamer of sorts, starts walking towards the figure without a second thought.
Cool.
Wow, seeing that, I'll be like, Tessel, hold, you, state your business.
Okay.
Tessel doesn't stop moving.
You call out saying these things, and the person that's kind of coming forward, they continue to move forward, lowering their hood that they have drawn over their head. And Nick, you see a very familiar face as you see Tonscreet standing there before you. With, unfortunately for them, their walk, the reason why it's kind of coming off as strange to you, has a pretty heavy limp to it. They're clutching their side. They have a heavy limp to them. And you can see as they lower their hood, so you'll be able to make out who they are. You can see that Tonscreet, though certainly a man that's seen combat time and time again in his 27 years of life, has unfortunately a nasty gash along the most of their presented throat that they have there. Even just a quick look at what that is, once you're able to finally see who they are, you're able to see that they it looks like one of those assassin vines. Most likely kind of grabbed and was cutting into it and trying to kill them. They look at you, and though their voice sounds nothing like this normally, pained, obviously, trying to regain whatever semblance of voice they had from nearly being choked to death and killed, you hear them say, "Oh, Lord, you came looking for us. Thank you."
I'll call for a medic.
Tessel gives him helps walk him if he needs any help.
So go over and you help kind of like sit him down onto a rock or whatever that's nearby, and you sit him down. He says, "Oh, yeah, thank you, but we need to go and get the others. There's so few left."
Rouse the men. Let's
Did
move.
you find my brother? War Chief Naito.
He gives you a bit of a somber look and says, "Yes,
Does he live?
in a way."
What direction?
He turns his body as much as he can, not really able to like just use full rotator cuff, right? Turns his body as much as he can, and like gently, gingerly lifts up his arm, pointing the direction kind of where he came from.
Before he even finishes, Tessel's already
Rushing
moving.
off. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're moving quickly, whereas Nick wants you to kind of like hang back, hold. Let's move it.
Yeah. You can't charge into the woods at night.
Do you go rushing in, or are you looking to like stealth in there? Are you looking to like move swiftly and quietly?
I'm gonna roll myself a will to try to resist.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna Naruto run right in there, aren't you?
I'm not adding my charmed life to it because this is like
you're
a
gonna
pure
go full weeb.
a pure thing. This is not his strong. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
are.
I'm going. He can't control the feeling he has inside of himself. He knows that if his brother is dead,
Boy.
that he's fucked up.
You're
bad.
going full
He can't
Hokage
take it.
running right in there.
He can't take the stress,
Oh jeez.
the doubt, the fear of everything that's happened, of him commanding his brother to go in here. He's going.
You're just like begging me to put you guys into an actual combat, aren't you? I'm trying to avoid it because Jake chose to Tyler out of the session.
Listen,
So,
the dice have
Well,
spoken.
be responsible for my kingdom.
yeah, you're like, listen, nobody's helping my kingdom out. I need to make sure I'm home. I can't suffer. Like, I know what you're trying to do, Scott.
Listen, the dice have spoken. They have said Tessel, as he did last time he was alone from his people, from his brother, he can't take the separation, the fear.
So you Naruto run in there. All right, cool.
Well, he's not. He has his sword drawn and he's moving swiftly, right?
So you Naruto run in there.
By forming a V with your body to lower the wind resistance.
Yeah. He's not gonna walk in there unarmed, unready.
You're in Arizona, and that is Area 51. Okay?
Yes. I mean, dude, Eldamar is Area 51. Like, have you seen it?
Fair enough.
Glowing lakes, killer trees, bears
All right.
with feathers.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to rouse as many people as I can and get some torches to try to follow this fool.
Do you want to also Naruto run your men in there after him?
No, I'm gonna do the right thing and not be a fucktard.
I don't blame you, dude.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me your profession warlord check, sir?
Oh boy. All right.
God.
You are able to move swiftly but defensively. You know where it is to go, and you know to stick as close to the lake as possible. You see where he's running into the tree line, but you're staying as close to where it is that he was gesturing as possible while, again, trying to stick along the lake where you know it's safe. Your men can move quicker that way. That's the smart way to move, not the way he went. Right? You go rushing into the woods. You go rushing as quickly as you can, trying to find your brother. It's difficult to find things inside such thick trees, though. This isn't just a typical forest, right? This is a jungle. The deeper you go, the more it becomes like a rainforest or jungle, right? So I need you to go ahead and roll me a perception check, even just trying to find them as you're like trying to get to them.
God, I have a 1 on this roll now because I failed the last one. I listen. It's fate.
Nick's like, I rolled this way here. It's your turn, okay? So you go rushing in there. Unfortunately, you don't find them at all. Nick, you defensively move into a position and follow along the instruction that he gave you, whatever verbal instruction he gave you, and then you move swiftly into the trees. Eventually, you're able to find there's a dozen men in here. That's right. A dozen men in here. And that's it. And of the dozen that are there, 4 of them are standing. The other 8 are on the ground. A couple of them groaning in pain. The rest completely unconscious. Looking amongst those who are unconscious, the 5 that are unconscious, you see that one of them happens to be Shado Naito. He is there. He is completely unconscious. However, I need you to go ahead and roll me a let me just double check. I think it's a knowledge nature check. I just want to look at your character sheet really quickly. Yeah, it's gonna be a knowledge nature check. There's another check that you could make, but for a lower DC, but knowledge nature is all you can do. You know exactly what this is. There is a specific plant, an herb, that exists inside this place that naturally excretes a pollen. If it walks too close to it, that's walks near. It's another carnivorous plant that happens to exist, but the way it works is it actually spews out a a chemical that causes those that inhale it to completely fall unconscious. And it's not like a minor unconsciousness either. It's something that can last for days or weeks or months, depending on how it is that it affects the person, whether they have a slight allergy to it, how much they inhaled, da 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 da. That's if they took it in its natural form. And it's designed to keep people like that as the roots slowly grow over the person and slowly consume them and suck like the life out of them, which is a digestive process that literally takes weeks or months to do, which is why it's so potent. Then there are the hafue that will carefully harvest this stuff and will make it a slightly more virulent than it usually is. So you don't need quite as much to make it happen, but it hits you just as hard and can knock you unconscious for days at a time. You don't know what caused it, but you can definitely tell just by the slight pinking of the skin. That's natural to what happens when you inhale this stuff. It makes your skin kind of turn a little bit pinkish, and you're lying there asleep. You know that's what's happened to the brother. As much as you see this dozen people here, 4 everything I described beforehand, you do not see Shadow Tessel.
Encircle the people, extract them. Let's move out, and we'll have to find Tessel. That's just.
Well, you know what? Looks like you've been ascended to the throne. Clasp when you wake up.
I was gonna say that the brother was probably the smarter of the pair anyway. So. It's
I'm smart. I'm just not wise.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me? That sucks because it's a wisdom-based thing I'm about to say here. Why don't you go ahead and throw me one more thing real quick, Cell? Just throw me a survival check.
I don't think if there's anything I can add, but probably not.
There's no luck dice. There's no Winifred's wisdom. There's nothing so far.
I don't think my daring do is with survival. No, it's not. Okay. Yo, I'm just gonna roll a not one again though, just so we're clear. It's not bad actually.
There's a couple of ones. The survival check is enough to keep you knowing, like, let me just kind of slow down at some point and start being careful of where it is that I'm going. You believe you should have found them by now. You don't know how long you've been searching. 10 minutes, 15, something like that. You don't know. Eventually, you kind of slow down, come to a stop. Where am I? Nobody's around me. What do I do?
Did I fail that? Sorry, I need to ask. Did I fail that roll?
It's a good question. What do I do?
Have I been walking in a mostly like a straight enough line?
No. There's too many trees and too many roots that are too large at their base and grown out and other things that you would clearly try to avoid. That it's not a straight line. It's you. Yeah. It's like driving on a highway, man. It's not straight. Actually, where you live, it's different.
I'm about to say the highways are pretty straight. They're just hills.
No.
I'm gonna climb a tree.
Okay, so you just go over to a random tree. Just like, I'm just gonna climb this tree. Gotta roll that climb check.
I need to get an advantage point.
The scenes of the darkness.
I do. I would. Yeah, my backpack. I probably wouldn't even have it on me at this point. My backpack. So that matters for the roll. Climb. Okay. And I'm gonna use not kick up. What's it called? My daring do for this, so I can add a d6 by spending a panache point.
Go ahead, sir.
Climb. And then a d6, and if it's a d6, it's an exploding dice.
I was gonna say, if it's a 1, is it imploding?
Mm-hmm. No. If it's 6, yeah. So
18, you're able to climb up the tree with a bit of difficulty. Sure, there's lots of vines and whatnot for you to climb up on it, but honestly, it's just grows in such a way that's very unusual to you. The branches are much thicker than your hands are typically accustomed to trying to grab onto, right? Because you're trying to grab onto a branch that's bigger than your actual grasp. So you have to try to learn almost like a hooking method that's not natural to you who has no experience doing these sorts of things. And you would just approach a different angle. Anyways, so you climb up into this tree. Now, Sel, it's going to take a while for them to try to find you. What happens to you here is very much dependent on the die roll of the next person you choose to roll for you. You, for the first time in all of these, get to choose what's bad, high, or low, and you better carefully choose who it is that rolls for you.
Hey, Keegan. Low is bad. I believe in you, my friend.
Okay.
I have no fear.
No fear. He can get your back. They probably actually abandoned you. Like I can't watch the stream anymore. It hurts too much.
Yeah, I don't know if Keegan's here.
I think they are.
A D100.
D100 for low is bad for him.
I trust him.
Oh man, he wasn't rolling natty one.
It's probably gonna happen. 57. It's above average. Let's go, boys.
But 57 is just because it's middle ground is where it is. Your time spent here is not pleasant. The simple fact of the matter is, as you're sitting there lying in the tree, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I just need to get my bearings straight. They can come and find me. I can try to keep it out for them. I'm sure we can reconnect. I made a foolish decision, but I'm sure we can reconnect. You think to yourself, maybe I'm going to, try to look out for where they are. You have no sight, no sounds, nothing for you to work off of. I know I came from that direction. I can literally see where I broke those branches. I know I could head back that way. Maybe I should climb down and roll me a perception check.
Well, I have my +2 back at least. Perception. Oh, I rolled twice by accident. Well, it's a 2. It's 5.
You see something moving around at the bottom of the tree. You can't make out what it is. But you see something stalking around at the bottom of the tree. Again, no idea. It stops occasionally and it looks up the tree and you can see its eyes. This almost like pale red kind of glow to them. The way you typically would see just like any amount of light shed off and them kind of like reflecting, right? Looking up at you. You think whatever it is, it must be a quadruped because it almost looks like it stretches up the tree a little bit and then climbs down. But at first you thought there was one. No, you're pretty sure there's 3 of them down there. No clue what they are.
I'm about to set fire to this goddamn forest.
Yes, burning down a rainforest is so easy.
At least the leaves would burn. I don't know how fires work, dude, okay? I live in a place that we don't have fires often.
We don't have fires up here either, but I mean, everybody knows it. If it's wet, it don't burn that easy. You get to a minimum temperature to make a rainforest
touch the
burn.
leaves. Are they wet right now? It's spring. They're wet. Is another tree close enough for me to like jump from one top of one tree to another?
You can try. Make me a climb check.
Climb or acrobatics?
You can try that if you'd like.
I feel like it's more of an acrobatics type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a panache point for this as well.
Go right ahead.
Oh, high rolls, boys.
These dice have not been with you so well, so let's see.
26. I'm living tonight.
You actually don't just jump to that tree. You realize using that momentum, if you keep running along almost like a boat, a U shape from one branch down over to where the trunk is, kind of like sidestep around and back up the U shape of the other branch, you can kind of like jump off that one onto another one. And the trees over here are close enough together, the branches are large enough nearby, you can hop over a couple of trees. But more importantly, your acrobatics is so good, you may have been able to do so pretty quietly. May have. Feel free to roll.
Well, sad thing is I'm not good at stealth. Actually, that's a lie. I rolled bad though.
So you were relatively quiet, and so maybe a casual observer might not have been able to notice you, but unfortunately, whatever this was actively trying to hunt you. You're able to move yourself over a good bit away from it, as I previously described. But now the area of the tree that you happen to be in, this tree looking down, you can see that half the tree is growing into the ground that's here, and half the tree has roots kind of coming out of the ground and growing into where there's a bit of a cliff that's there. Not a huge drop from the bottom of the tree. I mean, the trunk itself is rather tall, slightly taller than the one you were in before, but maybe like a 20-foot drop this little cliff is at the bottom. Reduces the likelihood of these creatures being able to get to you. What do you do from here? Looking to sit tight? You're looking to try to keep moving?
I don't think it'd be smart to make myself glow. I think I'd draw attention of bad things. I'd assume I would know at this point if it would be better for me to wait and try to sit tight in the night and wait till day to like try to make a try to be more active on my end, right? I assume.
Sure. Nick, why don't you go ahead and roll me that survival check? Oh, actually, you have Tonscreet with you. You can have Tonscreet come and attempt to assist you. They are rather injured and they are fatigued, but that doesn't affect that. Tonscreet can assist you instead of you going yourself. Like I said, they're hurt, but...
No, I wouldn't have him do that. I would do it myself. He's injured.
Okay. Then Tonscreet actually has an animal companion, doesn't he? Or is he too low level for that? I can't remember.
Let me
I think animal companions start at level
3. Yeah, I think it starts at level 3 for them. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Gotcha. All right. Survival?
For your character, yes. You do a pretty good job of after you get everybody kind of rounded up and brought to a safe space, so on and so forth. Oh, that's so funny. Because half of your flag is black and the light's turned off behind you now. Half your flag is invisible. It's actually pretty cool, I won't lie. It does make me want to outline the flag though with like a gold or silver trim. But anyway, so you get them kind of pulled back and held by the lake, and you have a group of men there with Tonscreet to keep after them, make sure that they're safe. I mean, you have 2 very important people as well as all of your men are important to you. Men and women, they're important to you. You take a small group and you go moving into the forest. You don't want to attract too much attention to yourself in the friggin' nighttime as you're moving through there. You're careful too to have your people spread out. You have every so often you walk in more of a straight line, so they can all kind of see within each other's most of the way through their line of sight, see outs to the person in front of them, but also to kind of like there's a daisy chain to try to get back to where it was that you came from. You can kind of like more easily follow the path to get back. You're making markings as you go. Machete or whatever out to deliberately cut down branches, things that you know that are enough damage to the area is going to make it more difficult for it to regrow or change on you as you're going. You continue searching your way. Tessel, you're in that tree and those creatures have definitely gone to the bottom of it. They continue circling it. Time passes for a bit, but eventually one of the creatures decides to not just claw at the bottom of the tree like a cute little kitty cat does, but actually decides to kind of like hop up and claw into the tree. It starts slowly clawing its way up the tree. Its pale red eyes looking up at you as it goes.
At this point, I'm gonna go for broke. Tessel is a nervous, he's fidgeting with his hands. Then he puts his hand on his crown, takes a deep breath, makes a gesture, and activates the wisps of fire around them. Mm-hmm. As the burnt orange wispy flames now surround him, and he glows for 10 feet of light.
Nick, make a perception check. You get a plus 4 for having your army with you. Like your other soldiers looking out as well. Hey, Josh. Somebody left you a clip in Discord. Not only do you see the what the hell are they called? The licking flames surrounding the crown of Shadow Tessel up inside the tree. You also notice that climbing up into the tree, there's at least one Kushi that's over there. And Kushi are no joke. If there's one Kushi, there's likely a pack of them. Packs are no smaller than 3. More often than not, there could be others around that might be looking to join together. Kushi are very friendly to those that are comfortable inside the woods, that are comfortable with them, but are very unfriendly to creatures that do not belong there. Creatures that that are unnatural. Somebody like you, a Kushi wouldn't attack. This is a home to you, right? But things that are a bit more, again, unnatural. There's the things that a Kushi would kind of like hunt down and try to keep out. They're almost considered guardians of the forest, not usually agitators. But they seem to be honed in on, for some reason, hunting down Shadow Tessel. So, knowing that Kushi are otherwise can be friends, how do you approach the situation?
We're just more or less going to try to like rush in and kind of like give some space for Tessel to be able to jump out into the crowd and be like, hey, listen, and then just try to get to a point where we can escort him out.
So I'm sorry, you want to more or less distract the Kushi?
Yeah.
So you want to have more or less like effectively a ranger amongst your crew, kind of do like a animal handling sort of a thing?
Like
Yeah.
All right. So I don't think, do you have the best animal handling? What's yours at?
Mine is 10. So
Actually, your animal handle animals are pretty good. That might actually
Yeah.
be you that steps up and handles the Kushi. These aren't typical animals; these are magical beasts. But again, they see
Yeah,
you as not being an enemy.
actually think I can handle that. Where's my
Sure.
good? Yeah, yeah, because I have wild empathy, so I think I can do it, and I think it works for beasts.
You have wild empathy? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely, it does. Go right ahead. Wild empathy is better for you. It changes the DC entirely.
Awesome. And that's still handle animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Wild
that's
empathy is its own thing.
diplomacy.
It's like a diplomacy check. It's not actually diplomacy. So it's
Right.
1d20 plus your effective level plus your charisma modifier. So that's for you. It should be 5 because your effective druid level is a 5, right?
Yeah, so plus charisma is...
So it's 1d20 plus 8, and we'll just have to make it a check. Oh, for some reason it says only plus 5 over there as opposed to plus 8. But here, let me do this real quick. So it should roll like this: 1d20 plus, and there's a way to do this. Give me 1 second. We do. Give me 1 moment, please. Who is the actual barbarian in their group? I think Jake does.
Jake.
I need to copy paste something. Give me 1 moment. Yeah. So let's go like this. Copy. Shrink you down. Come over here. Boom. Close this over here. So we add charisma. And then this is over here. Add plus level. We can get rid of this. And this. And I think if you click wild empathy, if you just click that on your character sheet, Nick, that might work.
Yep.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2.
And it actually does include the modifiers for you.
Brutal.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Is there a way to have it actually pop up in that top part up there? In that little box?
You can make it as a like a knowledge skill or perform under that.
Oh, yeah. I was just trying to do... we can do that because it'll be level and charisma mod. We just add in... It's just this actually calls to it for him. I wonder if we can do that over there as well. Give me 1 second. Let's do at level. Don't mind me. Copy. Try to make sure this works better. So we can do this as a skill. Not a knowledge skill. You do it down at the bottom. You call it wild empathy. Make it charisma based. And then you give a, what's this called? A miscellaneous bonus equal to... I don't know if this will make it a nan or not. No, why didn't that work? Give me 1 second. Sorry, everybody. Copy. Go over here, we press paste. No, I won't accept that as a paste. Because it won't take the at symbol. That's why, so you just have to keep modifying this. So that's still the same modifier. Roll, and then, hold on, one more thing. Sorry. Can you go higher or lower with this? No, you can only stay amongst your modified, I think. Yeah. Alright, so we just put a note here that says charisma plus level. That way you don't forget. Alright, and you can roll it off the bottom of your character sheet. That way it looks cleaner.
Yeah.
And we can kind of just put the rules in the other one. Maybe that one looks a lot better. So anyways, so you go over to them And you go over to them, and you actually are going to kind of like calm. Just, it's a friend. It's a friend. You try to calm them down, and it's one of those things where the two that are down below that aren't attacking, they actually will listen to you. They'll back up. There's no reason for them to do so. But the one that was already climbing the tree, it continues to climb the tree. It's going up to Shadow Tesla. Shadow, what you see is you're not entirely sure what this. It looks kind of like a dog, but the problem is like dogs aren't this lithe. They aren't this elongated in their body. At least most dogs aren't, right? Aren't this elongated in your body. Almost looks like a mix between a dog and a cat, kind of the way like a thylacine is, right? Like how they have that elongated body. Or what's the other animal that has like an elongated body, almost like a fox does, right? And the way it's like climbing up this tree, this is not small either. If you had to guess, this thing probably weighs like a good 85 pounds, maybe more than that. Its coloration is like lighter browns with hunter greens kind of mixed in. Its eyes have this like piercing, you know how like huskies have that piercing faint blue? Its eyes, now that you have light shed on them, is actually a piercing faint green color, even though when you saw the reflection, they came off as like pale red. The thing's coming up towards you, and it's baring its fangs. The teeth themselves, pearly in color, and it's not small in size. You can see that it's giving this like guttural noise, not quite a growl. It's more like the growl you would hear from a raccoon than the growl you would actually hear from a Keegan. Than a growl you would hear from a dog, right? Anyways, so it starts climbing up there. I think Keegan's trying to start another hype train, knowing around what time it is. Yep, that's what he's trying to do. So it's climbing up there. What do you do, looking down and seeing this creature for the first time and realizing this is no joke? You also notice, my apologies, one last thing. There's an intelligence behind its eyes. You see there's like a keenness to it.
Do I see the people below me?
Oh yeah. I mean, you also see what's his name jumps out there and starts like trying to calm the other ones down and whatnot as this is happening.
Mm-hmm. Is handle animal one of the skills that you need to be trained in to get above a 10?
I do not think it's an asterisk skill. Give me a moment to confirm
I think it
that.
is.
Trained only it is.
Okay, then there's no point to try it because then it just wouldn't work.
So what do you do?
I'm gonna try to intimidate the creature, right? There's these burnt orange flames wisping around his entire body, right? This thing is trying to climb in this tree. Its allies have run away at this point, so he makes himself look bigger, stronger, scarier, right? Weapon out, ready to fight.
So you're trying to intimidate it.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and roll me that check.
I certainly will try. I think it's scared.
So you roll a goddamn natural 20. Why don't you go ahead and show me describe exactly how intimidating your character can be hiding up in a tree all by himself. So you get your crown, glowing fire, your sword drawn. Describe to me how intimidating you can be.
So as he stands with feet firm in the branches of this maybe there's a little covert where the tree branches go, and he has his feet placed firm. His waved swords out with his buckler on. He's making himself look bigger than he is, and then he's the only light in the area, right? He's illuminated, his entire body is immolated in this white fire, which fire typically does scare animals.
Especially in a forest, right? Where it's very unusual.
And it's reflecting off of his gold crown, even more reflections of light.
So what I'm going to say is that natural 20 absolutely should scare this thing away. But the fact that your character's carrying a buckler gives you a negative 45 to your intimidation check. Anybody with a buckler is just lame. So the dog looks up at you and says, "That's a chew toy," and attacks you anyways. So,
unlike he did.
Yeah, no. So you actually are genuinely intimidating this thing. Finally seeing the number of people around and everything, you're just kind of whatever you do to it, it stops and analyze the situation quickly, and then just kind of like turns and jumps off the tree from halfway up the trunk and gracefully lands down below and goes running off after the other two that Varix was able, not Varix, what's his name? Nara was able to convince to leave. Goes running off after the other two. Luckily, no harm needing to be done. You're looking at him in his crown of fire. Go ahead.
Mostly I'm going to be like, get down here, you fucking idiot.
You see, he
Not,
makes a
Naren is
gesture.
not happy.
Tessel doesn't speak at the moment. You see Tessel takes a deep breath. The fire goes away, and then he climbs down the tree.
Huh?
Can I just like take a 10 on this?
No,
Okay.
there's dangers here. Hey, you took a 10. So you climb down the tree. Not gracefully, but you do get down. You're able to get down there with relative ease. And Nick?
I'm just going to look at Tesla and just your inability to control yourself jeopardize not only the life of your brother and your men, but my men as well.
He nods.
Learn from this, and I'm just gonna walk.
It's a much easier check for you, Nick, but a survival check to return back to where you came from. You daisy chains, but still.
Nice. All right.
Easily make your way back to the lake, allowing you to rest for the evening. In the morning, you guys get up.
That's right, Snaga. I am the danger. I am the fucking danger.
I don't know how old your characters are, but my character's like 24. He's still pretty young for like a ruler. So.
You saying young people can't be leaders?
No, I'm saying young people aren't wise.
That's ageist.
Okay, you know what?
Okay, Zoomer.
You got to follow through and actually like.
No, because then I'd have to get out of the chair. That's like
Too much work.
Like, listen.
Next thing you know, you're gonna blame my generation for the economy and your lack of money, and you know what? I'm tired.
I mean,
of it,
whoa,
right?
hold on. Everybody else does.
Why
Just
can't I
that.
do that?
Just tighten up your bootstraps and work more hours, okay?
Okay, and that, you know what?
He has nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
Nowhere to run away to in your
I
little
got
Zoomer
like,
apartment, huh?
I can walk in my bathroom right over there, but the door's closed. I got a closet.
You know, you can go in the closet. That's okay. We'll just coax you to come out because we love you.
Love you too, buddy.
Anyways, and Nick, I just need one more check for you to end this nightmare. Why don't you go ahead and roll for Tonscreet to do a survival check to get out of here. Before you do that, why don't you roll your own survival check to assist him?
Yes.
Wow, you give him a +3. So you give a +3 to Tonscreet. I believe we do mental math when you roll, right?
Yes.
Let's roll natty 1 now that he got the big roll. Oh my god.
19s.
Oh my god, it was right next to the natty 1.
That's a 34. That's a big roll.
Yeah. Easily find your way out of the place and return yourself back home, which is absolutely good news. However, I imagine on that trek back, seeing his brother, you might want to cover those details.
Yes. I'll be like, he's going to be in this state for quite some time. This is a most likely slightly modified natural poison that tends to incapacitate its victim for days, if not weeks.
He nods. You see he's silent, but it's not like he's mad at you for scolding him, but it's more like he knows he made like a mistake and he's like kind of thinking it through in his head.
Okay. You guys make your way back to Nick's tribe. From there, I imagine you were able to put together an escort, Nick, to accompany him and whatever few soldiers he had left for himself to allow him to return back to his own home. Wherein, funny enough, that amount of time triggers you guys being able to have the second roll for who goes first. Is it Tessel?
Yeah, I go first.
Well, Tessel?
Well, we both were in the country for a week at the beginning of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're all good on this month at least.
Mm-hmm.
I guess first, he would ask. He would have, but when he returned, he would have sent a letter to Ganarin's nation and asked for a what he would prefer as a weapon, as a gift and a thank you for the assistance.
You meant Varix's, but that's okay.
No, I meant Ganarin. He's doing one for Varix, and he wants to do one for.
Oh,
Ganarin.
Narin as well. I think the G is silent.
It is.
Narn.
But he uses a Naginata, so
All right, he would have his Forge Master work on a Naginata.
That's gonna be Joey.
Or
Joey has to do that one.
actually,
So I'm gonna do
Yeah.
Kingdom rules.
Joey, do you want to name the Naginata the danger?
the danger zone.
Okay. Upkeep phase first.
We'll name it the common denominator. There we go. Just for you, Scott.
Shadow. Easily.
Gorgeous. Reduce
Oh,
your
wait.
unrest,
I didn't
rather.
update this because of the. I didn't update this from the unrest.
No, that's okay. It should be. Oh no, that's fine. We just were minus a 3. You just remove it from your stability result there, because there's no modifier thing that pops up, is there? I'll have to add that to the macro. That's not your fault. I'll have to add that to macro unrest.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
Or actually, I have to make that an attribute on your character sheets. Unrest. That's all. So that's
Okay.
me, not you. So minus 3.
Okay.
You succeed. You reduce your unrest by 1, which brings it to what?
a 1.
From 2. Beautiful.
Yep.
Awesome. Next thing you're gonna do. Let me actually get back to the kingdom buildings stuff again. So after you do that, you're gonna pay consumption.
0.
Shh! Don't say that too loud. People get mad at you. Now you're gonna do your fill your vacancy magic items. Did you only had 1 vacancy and you already filled it, right?
No, I have 2 minor in a temple.
All right, then go ahead and roll me a D100, or ask somebody else to. 51 or higher equals magic item.
Okay, I'll just do it real quick. I need 3.
Well, should roll yourself more often. So
Okay.
after that is going to be
So I got 2 minor magic.
you can modify your unrest at this point, which I don't think you have a.
Yeah, I go up by 1
Why are you gonna go up by 1?
because I don't have a spy master,
Oh, ouch.
so I'm back at 2.
After that is going to be you don't have a royal enforcer, so we're gonna move on. Assign leadership. You can't assign leadership right now.
No. And now I have to look at buildings.
Mm-hmm.
which
Are you
is
looking to
in-
claim any hexes at the moment?
At this point, I would. At this point, my hill becomes prepared, or becomes prepared, and I would like to claim the hill to the south.
So you definitely want to claim again, which continues to increase your what's it called? Control DC.
Yeah, I'm typically probably not gonna fail by 1 if I fail. We'll find out though, I guess.
Okay, whatever you want to do. So, are you gonna grab the one that's south of it? Ping for me one more time.
Yeah, the hill to the south. South. I assume I've explored this with my explorers at that point.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing with your other
How much does it cost to make a mine?
It made that weird again. See what I did over on. Oh, I forgot to change the overlay. That one was time just me being dumb, guys. How much does it cost to what?
Make a mine.
Ooh. Mines cost.
6 BP. I only have 3 because I get to build buildings before or after econ phase.
Before.
Yeah. I rolled so low on my econ.
Don't forget to spend 1 BP because you got that. You just took a hex.
Yeah. So I'm at 2. Lovely. I would technically, because of how the sheet works, with 10, 14, never mind. I've never mind. I have a perfect amount of negative consumption. 3 hills. Then I can't do anything else. I got 2 BP. I don't think any.
Okay. So you just have 2 BP, so we're going to move on from there. After that, she only did the one improvement, which was to actually did no improvement. She just claimed a hex.
How much does it cost? It costs how much to start preparing?
Oh, good question for the hill.
Repair cost.
It costs 2.
2. Then I would.
You
do
have
it.
0 BP.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
Better roll for economy.
So you're doing nothing with your edicts. You're doing nothing with buildings. You're doing nothing with armies. You obviously disband your army at this point, so you're not still paying for it. Not doing anything else here, so on and so forth. Income phase. You're not making any withdrawals, no deposits, no exchanges. You're going to collect taxes.
Yep. So tax.
And then you have a 75% chance of an event, buddy boy.
Not looking forward to it. Normal taxation. I rolled low again.
Good. You have only 10 BP.
That's fine.
Jake's reveling in this. So you have to suffer with me. Jake's about to go to crushing taxes.
Honestly, I was tempted to go to like heavy taxes. But it wouldn't have been worth it.
So now you have to roll a 75% chance. You have to choose somebody in chat, and you have to tell them which one is good, high or low. It's a 75-25 now.
You know what, Ano? I'll give it to you. All right, and it's low's bad.
Low is bad for Ano. So that means that Ano wants to roll 76 or higher to keep you safe.
I'm safe.
Wow, Ano.
Well done.
Thanks, buddy.
Still no event happens here. Still 75% chance next time. Don't forget to mark that somewhere in your character. No event. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, and that pretty much ends your event phase. That's it. You're done. Your kingdom roll is over. Nice and easy. Cool. Back to the rest of you guys. So you all make it back to your different homes, your various homes, trying to clean up the messes of what had transpired before. Tesla having to get home just in time to make sure that final decisions are made for what's happening in the kingdom and whatnot, and seeing that his treasury is empty. Unfortunately, he carried too many gifts to the west with him, and unfortunately he's offered too much stuff. These deals that he's making with the others are going well, but perhaps not going well enough. You guys are going to have to push it a little bit further. Things are just, it's getting tight. It's getting tough with having to fight this group to the north, and then knowing that you're most likely going to have to make an excursion to the north, each of your 3 characters as well, for the situation you're going to try to push. That's something that's kind of biting away at your bank accounts, to say the least. Yes, sir?
Oh, I remember. I was going to offer the captured soldiers the ability to live in my land or go back to their home.
How many captured soldiers were there? Do you remember?
It
was only like 50 in your land in the first place.
Yeah, no, the captured soldiers that we captured in the battle over here.
Oh, gotcha.
Which I think there is like 100 and something.
Yeah, there was. Gotcha. So for them there, whether or not they go with you, so let's say there's 100. Let's see if any of them are willing to go. Choose somebody in chat to roll a D100, and they have to choose if that number, before they roll, if that number is how many stay or how many leave.
That number is how many leave.
Okay, and choose somebody in chat.
For a D100?
Yep.
Let's do MRAM.
Mr. Amden. Mr. Amden. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm saying it. It's either Amramdom.
I'm going to assume their high luck is over. Oh, well, I got 50 or 47.
Okay, so right down the middle. So about half of them choose to stay, and about half of them choose to leave. Those that choose to stay because you're telling them it's only going to be, like a month of work, and then they're able to stay. And they're like, trekking across.
They don't. They can choose where they want to work. They're any citizen at this point.
Cool.
They can work in the farms.
It's trek all the way back across the battlefield, all the way over there, or they can just stay here and things are a lot more comfortable for them. They choose to just stay here because it's so much easier for them. I got that fixed it for you guys. So that's so much easier for them. All right, cool. Back to what we were talking about beforehand. And this is when you guys realize that together, you guys are much stronger than if you're separated for several reasons. Not only is it better with your armies being able to work together as they have beforehand, and while certainly sometimes the decisions made by the them aren't the wisest, huh, Nick? Huh? that doesn't change the fact that they are still valuable allies for both commerce and defense. This leads you guys to wanting to set up treaties amongst one another, linking your nations together for commerce and defense and so on and so forth. Especially you seeing what kind of horrors exist in Eldamar, knowing that occasionally he's going to need aid, but also knowing that he's willing to come to your aid all the way down here against Paradel and the infinite forces that they seem to have. And both of you having a degree of responsibility for what comes out of the Barren Lands with how close your lands touches to it, knowing that having aid from somebody so close to you and providing it in return for the defense and the significance of it, it's probably not a bad idea. So going into what this actually means mechanics-wise, going to the edicts phase of the edicts rules of the kingdom building, we actually have two things happen here. If you guys choose to have an embassy, that's up to you. If you want to build embassies, it's up to you. But for now, we're going to assume no. A treaty would exist. So the way that a treaty works, in short, is that you're going to affect each other's economy. And the way that alliance works is you're going to affect each other's stability in a positive way. What ruling did I say at the end of the last session for how this should be?
+3.
It wasn't a flat number.
It's the average. It's take the two numbers and average it out, I think.
A 2 from each other and average it out rather than what we were talking beforehand, which is a depreciating number based off of the number of treaties and so on and so forth. Cool. So this works for each of you. This is important to know. You guys can see each other's kingdom sheets, can't you, or can you not?
Probably can. I just don't have. I don't have the link.
That's fine. So the way this works is that each of you grab the other two's numbers, put together and divided by, right? So let's do Nick first. Nick, I'm going to give you your modifiers, and where you're going to put this on your kingdom sheet is going to be underneath other. Okay. So Cell's stability is 21. Loyalty is 20. Let me put this over here. So
Economy is what matters, not loyalty.
Sorry. Good point. So this is going to be economy and stability. Oh, okay. 1 second, it's just being done. Okay. And that's going to be you. And then, so this is going to be for who? For Nick. So I'm just trying to make this so it's something I can see. For Nick. And so with that being done there, what is your economy, Cell, and what's your economy, Jake?
20.
Mine is a 9 at the moment.
9?
Yeah, because of unrest.
Gotcha. Sorry, not including unrest.
11,
Oh, 22 then.
I think. Hang on a sec. Not
Yeah, it'd be
including
+2.
unrest. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And what is your stability, Cell, and then Jake?
Without the unrest still?
Mm-hmm.
Then 23.
Jake?
Was I muted or did I say that?
You were muted.
21.
21 without the... Okay, cool. So, Nick, this is what you get. That's rounded down, of course. Oh, nope. That was wrong. That was wrong. That was not what that was supposed to be. It's supposed to be what? Divided by 10, isn't it?
Yes.
So, oh, shit. It says divided by 20 is what it's supposed to be. Come on, you stupid fucking roll 20.
Well, we take the number. Yeah, divided by 20. That works.
Is it divided by 20, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you could just add them together and divide it by 10. Or divide by 2 then divide by 10, which is the same difference.
So divided by 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Nick, round down, that's what you get for your bonus. Cool. So then we're going to do this one for Jake. In which case, Nick, tell me what your economy is. Again, without unrest. And without the bonus that you just got from them. You're muted.
26.
26 without unrest and without their bonus.
Correct.
And what is your stability, Nick?
18.
Thank you. And so this is what you get, Jake. Okay.
Yo.
And going back to Jake's numbers, Jake had an 11 and a 23. So, wait. No, 11 and a 21. Yep. So let's get this to an 11. And this to a 21. And make this one for Cell. That's what you guys get. That's what you guys give to each other. Cell gets screwed.
Y'all need to get better, okay?
Well, it's lifting up the worst person, right? So what you guys are doing right now is lifting up the worst person.
What would this be under? Other?
Under other, yep. And so treaties and whatnot are drafted, and details and whatnot are drafted amongst your advisors to have this kind of play out in a positive way. I wanted to go over the some details pertaining to Nick's Kingdom. With some RP for Nick's Kingdom, even though I really want to get Jake back involved in this. Nick's Kingdom rolls are next, so he's kind of more important at the moment. So his RP back home is going to be a bit more important too. So you had sent them all the way to the north. You had gone into the woods and it disappeared for a good, almost for a week and a half's time. Going in there and eventually coming back out with Tonscreet alive and well enough on the mend, certainly. But that's okay. You have decent medics at home, and even I think a small touch of magic at home, if not healing magic, that can help him to recover a little bit faster. So after Tonscreet returns, and you can see that he's doing well, this gives you an opportunity when things kind of settle down in your kingdom that you can actually have a conversation with what's her name. That you can finally chatter with Karzug.
Yes.
So, where you were probably keeping her was likely inside of a cell while you were gone. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because you're in jail.
No, she would be in a holdings proper for her station.
Okay, so like a guarded guest room inside of your home, which you don't actually have a proper home right now. You have no mansion. You have no anything. You just have houses. So you just have a simple home. Because you're totally a communist state. So,
meritocracy. Thank you.
No, the phrase "communist leader" always tickled me. I'm like, that's not what communism is. Anyways, you would go and meet with her. So of course, the guards would step to the side, and you would go step into the home where she's staying, or the room, whatever it is where she's staying. And when you come in, seeing that it's you addressing her, she would stand up out of respect. Again, you've been gone at this point in time for over a week and a half, close to 2 weeks, by the time you speak to her again. You yourself having to recover from your time in Eldamar. Checking for ticks and jiggas and, I think it's a CH, chiggas and stuff like that. All sorts of other ointments and whatnot you'd have to use to reduce the amount of itching and whatnot you'd get from the various bug bites and everything you get while you're in there. It's not comfortable. Anyways, so you you go and she stands to address you.
Kurzug? Yeah.
Karzug.
Karzug. I've given you time. You've spoken with my people. What is your decision?
I've said from the beginning that it would be an honor to be able to give my account of what had transpired between the Zinquin clan and clans Densho, Shado, and Kushibashi in the battles that happens before. And I continue to believe that to be true, and I will do my part when it comes to that. I do also have to say is I've had opportunities to walk around your home. I've had opportunities to actually enjoy the outside. Your people here are kind, despite my being a prisoner. They've treated me well. Certainly better than even at the better times Zinquin would treat somebody of in my current position. For that, I owe a debt of gratitude. That and my life In that time that I spent walking around, I noticed that there are failings with your state, if I may be so bold as to say. You seem to lack a degree of leadership, and those that you have in leadership seem to not know very well what it is that they're doing. Again, please excuse if I seem to be stepping out of line. But this Hoko, I believe everybody calls him Buddy. He seems to not be very well suited for the position that he's in. His responsibility is to defend the home. He doesn't do a very good job. You saw how poorly he maintained his soldiers against even the small group that we had about under my command, and more so how quickly they crumbled again beneath my soldiers. Granted, we were held up, but this is your home. It was disadvantageous for us. He should not have this position. He's a kind-hearted person that better dealt handling the people than he is handling the soldiers. And nobody leads your armies, only you yourself. But, Warlord, with all due respect, or she says, Kushibashi Warlord, with all due respect, you have more on your plate than to lead armies. The entire time that you ran into the forests, granted I understand out of respect to your ally, in search of their sibling, nobody here could lead your armies. It should have been somebody's full responsibility. Instead, it fell onto this Hoko. Or somebody else should have been the one to run in there searching for them, allowing you to stay in a safer location to lead your people. I see opportunity here where I think my expertise, my understanding, would be able to assist you into a far greater station than where you currently are. Especially considering Zin Quinn will be most likely be punished at the end of this. Well, you can almost hope that they aren't. If they aren't, they would hold a grudge, and if they are, they will act upon that grudge. In that battle, and other battles coming, I think my expertise and understanding of the other clans, would behoove you and your allies. If the offer stands, I would like to accept.
The offer stands, and your words ring true. There's a reason why I pose this conversation. And yes, Hoko, he's young and inexperienced, and could use a role model, as could some of my other officers. So, General, that's up to you. You see the problem, fix it.
Again, if I may be so bold, I'd be willing not only to take on the position of general, and so therefore handling your offenses, but I'd be willing to handle the defenses of your home as well. I think I've gotten a knack for them.
You would prefer the defensive position?
I'm saying that I can handle both. I'm capable of doing so. I've done so before for a clan much greater than the size of yours. Successfully.
Well then, we'll see if your actions can match your words.
During your upkeep phase, you'd be able to actually use her to fill both those positions, but that would also allow Hoko to be alleviated from his position and to be moved elsewhere. I personally have an opinion as to where Hoko could be useful, but I want you to kind of contemplate it and see if you can come up with what you would like to do with the gentleman based off of his skill set. I know it's a little bit difficult to make that decision immediately, considering that it's requires looking at the rules and whatnot. But yeah. Anyways, continuing on. Enough time has passed between the going in the woods, coming out, the drafting of the treaties, combining them together, so on and so forth. And that actually leads us to another kingdom roll, funny enough. So these kind of blast through sometimes pretty quickly. So Nick, I want you to go ahead and you're going to be doing your kingdom rolls at this point. You're currently rolling with exactly as it's situated on your character sheet without changing anything yet.
All right.
So upkeep phase is going to be first. Poor Jake. Upkeep phase is going to be first. The first thing you're going to do is roll your stability check. Just make sure that your character sheet correctly and roll 20 correctly matches your stats out here. And then after you do that, also keep your character sheet open. You're going to need to. So it should be a 30, 25, 15, 15. I believe is where you currently are.
Yep.
Cool.
So just the upkeep button.
Yep.
All right.
And I have to add an unrest attribute in there and affect the macros and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Wow. That's amazing.
Oh,
Remove 2 unrest,
wow.
which will
Wow.
increase all of your stats by 2 currently from what you just plugged into your character sheet.
All right.
I'll take care of the unrest on the spreadsheet. So you should have 27. Sorry. That was weird. Did unrest not affect your... Oh my god, somebody had fucked with your attributes in a weird way. Your loyalty and stability just say 15. They don't say the sums. That's not good.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. 1 second. Okay, so you actually were rolling with a stability of plus... Hold on. You didn't have a plus 15. You had a plus... Wait, is this working correctly? Plus 12. Yeah, but that's okay because you still natty 20, you still succeeded, so on and so forth. That brings your unrest to a 1. For some reason, the unrest here acted weird too. That's so weird. Okay, 1 second.
I probably gaffed it up, but yeah. Yes, someone.
Yeah, someone. Yeah. So you succeeded. That's fine. So either way, you next roll is going to be sorry. Next thing that you're going to do. Oh, wow, that's pretty awesome. Is you're going to pay your consumption. So for your kingdom, your consumption's 4, bringing your treasury down to a 10. I can adjust that for you. Boom. And the next thing is going to happen is you're going to fill your magic item slots. You don't have any. Then you're going to modify your unrest. You currently don't have a royal enforcer, so you can't do that. And you have no penalties. Are you missing any positions that increase your unrest?
Yes.
Grand diplomat and stability decreases by 2. And high priest you're missing. So unrest goes up by 1. Cool. Awesome. That takes care of that for you. Next up is going to be, that ends that there. Now it's edict phase. You can assign leadership. So what you're going to do is you're going to assign her as a leader. Her stats as a general, she's going to be utilizing her strength attribute. Her strength happens to be a 3. Her profession soldier counts as 5 ranks, so she gets a +1 for that. So her stats as a general is a 4. Her knowledge engineering, because yeah, actually she has knowledge engineering because she's for sieging, right? Is only at a 3 though, so no modifier there. So she has 4 as a general and 3 as a warden in Nick's kingdom. So I'm going to copy Hoko's name so we don't screw it up. Copy. We'll paste it to the side over here for a minute. And we're going to grab her name. I should be showing... my apologies, everybody. I should be showing his spreadsheet to you guys. And then her name is right here. So she's now the general, as opposed to being blank. She's actually here now. And she's, instead of a -4 to loyalty, she's actually providing a +3 to... +4 to stability, I believe. Yeah, which is like a huge swing for you.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're also going to be able to utilize her as your warden, in which case she offers +3 as a warden currently. Now that also alleviates Hoko to go somewhere else, but alleviating Hoko triggers a stability check, which at the time that you started doing this was a +12. So why don't you go ahead and roll me a stability check with +12 real quick.
So just a slash.
And I believe if you fail, it just gives you a -1 penalty to stability. Unfortunately, that does not beat a 35. Sorry, 30 at the time. So you actually get a -1 penalty to your actual loyalty score for switching your kingdom roll because you failed that check. So this is I don't know why your others say 2.2, and these are weird others that you have written in here. Oh, I know what that is. That's you getting it from your allies.
Yeah.
It's funny that you wrote it like that though, instead of just writing 2 and 1. Huh, that was weird. Okay, so anyways, this would be this event of switching your leader gives you a -1 to loyalty, unfortunately. Cool. So that affects that, and then you need to assign him to a new position. What position do you want to assign him to?
I saw that he was a temple guard, so can we just throw him as high priest?
High priest works off of wisdom or charisma. You can look at his attributes.
Probably not. I'll go.
I actually had an idea for him. His wisdom and his charisma are both +1s. His strength is a +4.
Oh, all right. What does he have? What works off of strength then? Royal Enforcer?
Funny. Royal Enforcer would actually work off of strength. It works off strength and intimidation. His intimidation actually already counts as an 8, so you get a +1 to that. He'd have a +5 to his whatever it is he did as a Royal Enforcer.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, Royal Enforcer. Oh, cool.
So Hoko, still being a person of the people, Buddy Lightspear, sits around and drinks a bunch of beers and beats the people if they don't do what he tells them to. He'd get along great with Mortifer, wouldn't he, Jake?
Yeah. So.
That's it, just yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, just yeah.
That's it. That's just yeah.
He's like, I'm just watching Nick's stats skyrocket. That's okay, Scott. Stop talking to me. So Hoko is actually even more beneficial. He's a +5 to loyalty as a Royal Enforcer. He was only a +4 to loyalty as a Warden. So he's actually at a better suited spot for who he even is as a person. Still gets to stick around inside the main city and is actually somebody that enforces the laws of the nation, effectively the chief of police, right? Which is a better position for him overall. So it's actually a good thing. Yay! Moving on. So are you going to claim any new hexes, Nick?
I was thinking about it.
And then again, after this kingdom roll, which we're doing for everybody, we have to really enforce the exploration first.
Yeah. I was going to go with this one right here.
Sure, you want to claim that hill that the soldiers are no longer on. Absolutely, sir. Click. So claiming a hill, we know how that goes. And this one over here is now ready and done.
Yes, I was going to. Yeah, I was supposed to have a watchtower or something done this round, I believe.
Were you building a watchtower too?
I think last round, I built a watchtower. I paid half for it last round. I got to pay the second half. Is that accurate?
Yes, that sounds about right. This is why we were talking before about like make sure you leave notes for these sorts of things or whatever. But yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead and do that.
I forget what the cost was.
They're usually 12, I want to say, so it's probably a cost of 6.
6 cents. We did not take the 4 from there, so I should be at 4 total now.
Okay. And then hills. So I was just double checking something on this attribute sheet. So dynamic lighting. A typical hill offers 6 miles of view. That's plains. A hill is supposed to offer, 12 miles or something like that, I think? Let me check Jake's. It's supposed to offer 14 miles, I think it goes up to, from where it normally is.
I don't think my hills are doing that.
It's 14. No, they are. They definitely have more view. So this is supposed to be 14 here, and then when you put a watchtower onto it, it actually grows even more. It's hard for me to see this though because of the this needs to be updated. Just so friggin' annoying. It keeps doing this to me. There we go. So that and then when it's that thing, instead of being 14 miles, it's again supposed to expand even further. So I think we put it as 20 miles out. God damn it broke on me again. You see that? I have no idea why Roll20 does this. It's so friggin' annoying. It's a relatively new thing with a new dynamic lighting that they have. So 14 becomes, I think it's 20 is what I got to put in here. There you go. It friggin' broke on me again. That's so friggin' annoying. And so, Nick, with your vantage point that you have there and how far out you can see with your watchtower on a hill, if you actually look at the northern edge of your kingdom, I don't know if you're looking there.
See that? Yeah.
You can see that you're actually bringing yourself very, very close to another kingdom that happens to be out there. Your scouts and whatnot that are in the area are starting to notice there's another kingdom relatively nearby. And this is that part of the game, like if you're playing Civilization or whatever it is, where you realize, oh shit, okay, get ready for it. You know what I mean? Do I declare war or do I try to stay away from them? All right, anyways, so let's continue on with the kingdom building because that was just an exciting thing to do. You claimed that hex, so you spent 1 BP to claim the hex, sir? You spent your 6 to finish building that construction. Cool. Now are we doing any improvements? Oh, are you preparing the hill, which costs 2 more BP? The new hill.
No.
So you're gonna leave this one unprepared.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's fine. We'll just have to remember that. So that being said, if you're leaving it unprepared, that actually means that we're going to leave it with a 2 on it. So you own it, but it takes 2 months to prepare it, so we're good there. Not exactly, you know what I'm saying. No other trade improvements, no farms, or anything like that?
I think I'm gonna build a wall.
And who's gonna pay for it?
Me. It's 2 BP. But yes. Actually, Cel's gonna pay for it. You're the Mexico of the group.
Well, I have a. That would be. Jake's on the border of Mexico in the world, okay?
Well, I mean, you're the one mining everything and doing all like the actual labor, and I'm just importing the goods, right?
Cutting trees is labor.
And you're poor, right?
I am poor right now. I keep rolling 6s on my BP die.
That's all right. I'm about to be poor as well.
I'm like, where are you putting that wall?
Around my city.
You had to pick a direction.
Oh yeah. I wasn't sure how this worked. Well, now that I know these guys are up there, yeah.
The north?
Yeah, to the north. I'll build a northern wall.
All right, I got you. Take care of that real quick. And that's dark stone. Dark stone there. And we have that taken care of. Cool. And
Awesome.
then we add in here, we put a wall. It's going to be... Oh, no, I can't do that over there. I have to do it over here. Add a wall for you. WA. City wall. And number is 1. Cool. Done.
And that should drop my unrest by 2.
Oh, yeah. City walls reduce your
it
unrest by 2. That's right. And how much does that cost you?
2 BP.
So bring down to only 1 BP?
Yep.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to the next part. We're done with armies. Now we're edicts. You're not doing any edicts right now.
No.
Income phase. You're not withdrawing, not doing anything. You're just going to roll taxes and see if an event happens.
All right. So taxes.
You're maintaining normal taxes still, aren't you? Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's what Daddy likes. That's what Daddy likes. I'll take that 14 BP.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's amazing. And finally, choose who in chat is going to roll your event roll. Since you had no event last time, it's a 75% chance. What's
All right.
bad?
He's gonna get one of us of it.
We're gonna go highest bad. Who wants it?
Who in chat wants to roll? Don't just roll. You have to say me, or something like that.
Yeah. Take it, Snake.
Snake was first. Should have made Josh roll.
True. Ha.
Oh my god. Snake. Crushed it.
What
Kudos,
are the
man.
chances?
Kudos. I would say 25 and 100.
Okay.
All right.
What are the
Go
chances
Snake.
all of us keep missing it?
Very slim. That's amazing. That's amazing. Cool. All right. And I have, starting next session is when the campaign really opens up. Jake, of course, you get to have one in last semi-safe kingdom roll. We can start next session with that. And then we're going to unleash the floodgates. So their chat interaction doesn't transpire until after your next kingdom roll, to be clear. Okay?
Yeah, can I have my staff built, please?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look up the rules for quarterstaff, and look up the rules for bow and weapons.
Yeah, I guess I can do that later.
Here, Pathfinder. Special materials. Bone. Bone can be used in place of wood and steel for weapons. Weapons, light and one-handed melee weapons, as well as two-handed weapons that deal bludgeoning damage only, can be crafted from bone. Half to two-handed weapons, such as spears, can be crafted. Bone weapons have half the hardness of their base weapon and have the fragile weapon quality. Masterwork bone weapons also have the fragile quality, but magic bone weapons do not. Bone weapons take a -2 penalty on damage rolls, with minimum 1 damage. So you have a weapon with half the hardness of a wooden version with the fragile quality that does -2 damage.
That's
Absolutely.
alright, but I have it.
Huh?
Good. I have it though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll say
That's sweet.
Sel get somebody to craft it for you. Absolutely.
Beautiful, because it's I'm not using it in combat, so that stuff doesn't matter.
But not Jake. Sel, you
How
have...
much money is he paying you for it?
What were you saying, Scott? Continue.
Do you have Joey's character make a kushibashi for the savior of your brother? As make a, what's it called?
Yeah.
Naginata?
Of course.
Okay. So let's have Joey's character actually roll for that. His name, sir, is what?
Drummond.
You can go ahead and open up his character sheet.
Yep. Do you want me to roll for him?
I'm trying to find where he is. Oh, Jorman.
Jorman, yeah. I said Droman. But that's his last name with a D.
This is craft weaponsmithing.
I will roll.
Get what message? I mean, you rolled meh.
Yeah, you only need... I think you need a, I think you need a 20 to make a masterwork weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Over, like, you need, like, 5 20s or something.
You would assume that he's making a masterwork, so more or less he failed to make a masterwork, which means Nick doesn't have the weapon yet. He's gonna have to try again. Knowing this is for a warlord, Jorman would not produce this material. Would not produce this end result and give it to him. Like, this isn't worthy of a warlord. He would put it aside.
Of course. I would expect only the best quality to be given.
All right.
Yeah, me too.
Go again?
All right. I'm not sure what Joey's talking about with the spy master from Densho. But either way, why don't we start doing our goodbyes? Which are a little bit more interesting now, because I saw that not only has Joey started streaming, but Sal, I saw you streamed once or twice recently too.
Yeah, my internet holds out. So it's a thing I do now. I'm gonna go live tomorrow at 10 p.m.
Eastern.
Eastern, yeah. 10 p.m. best time.
Mm-hmm. That's true. What are you doing?
Gonna be playing some Crusader Kings 3. I'm not sure what nation yet. I'll figure it out beforehand and, go from there.
Oh, Joey, I get what you're saying. Yeah, don't worry about that. So, cool. Crusader Kings tomorrow. Jake, Nick, anything you want to say?
I wasted a nat 20 on Cell today. That was pretty disappointing. Other than that, rolled surprisingly well. I'm sure I will pay for it next session. So yeah, that's about where I'm at.
I was excited about it to make one weapon. We're making a weapon out of steel. Doesn't need a dead body. Josh, weirdo.
Yes.
Cool. Any last words you guys want to deliver to the? Because just so you know, before we go live next session, they're going to be dropping things. While we're just on the away screen, they're going to be dropping things. This is your last opportunity to say something before chat interaction goes live next week.
Well, I'm going to say my goodbyes because you skipped over me. So let's just rewind it for a second. And
excuse me.
Yep.
I did skip over you.
You did. I let Nick talk first, and then you just rudely interrupted me as usual, which is on par for you.
No, you can't kick out the diversity of this group. He's the only non-American.
I know.
Classic censorship, Scott. Right. Anyway, don't forget to check out Planeswalker on Wednesday morning for you, Scott. I don't know your Eastern time. Where we're about to fight Gith, I think, Gith Yankee, or whatever they're called. So that ought to be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
And just so chat knows what the hype train does when you guys hype train and make advisors from it. Speaking of, what hype train does when you make hype train, a level 5 hype train makes a level 3 advisor built well, better than lower stats, but better designed for being an advisor than the actual Patreon characters. Level 3 character, but they're static. They stay there. They stay static. So that's what a level 3 hype train does. So if you get them to start off that level 3 character, that's actually a really good thing because they come in, as you can see with her, she's a plus 4, plus 3, or whatever it is, or plus 5, plus 4 into those different roles. And she, in theory, can just get a simple magic item that gives her a plus 2 to her to her engineering, and in theory could offer a little bit more as the warden. That's an awesome hype train character. Level 3 hype train would get you a level 2 character. Level 1 hype train would get you a level 1 character, again static, right? So either way, cool. I'm going to be making another one this time for Clan Shadow. I get to decide what they are, so that's what's going to happen. And probably like this other one I just did, I'm going to do it off stream, sitting there naked on my laptop. So just understand that, Nick, I made that girl naked for you.
Yeah, I just hope it's a spy master. That's all I want in the world.
Oh yeah?
That's all I want. My only wish. Not that my brother's alive.
And don't forget, anyone that hasn't, there's also the Patreon where you can make and design us advisors yourself. Just saying, Clan Densho is down bad at the moment. Stats are not looking good. So if anyone feels like stepping up, just go to patreon.com/Daelric.
I agree. Support Jake, please. He needs it. He's a big.
I don't know. There's kind of a beg.
Down bad Densho, they call us.
Listen, I was called Mexico, but we really know which one's the Venezuela of the group. Okay.
And with that, we will close the session before Cell insults more nations.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like what did Trump say about all those countries? What did he call them? Cell, you want to repeat that? I don't know.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this sounds terrible. I don't know if I want this. I think I have to cancel this campaign before I get canceled. Oh Jesus.
Wow.
You let the zoomer go too far.
Nope. Zoomed right off the edge.
Oh, he really is like the Venezuelan. You're the white orc. Are you like the Nazi that's hidden in Venezuela?
Oh my God, no!
Listen, dude. All right. Away
work.
screen. Ending stream.
I forgot to record these 2 hours too, so I have to rip the VOD and listen to this again. Jesus. Bye, everybody.